Hi everyone, I'm just going to make a few short little videos today, just going over the lesson, just to make sure that you understood what was being taught. So the first thing that I'm going to just talk about is standard form. So I know that standard form is when I have the x and the y on the same side. So ax plus by on the same side equals c. And I know that A and B cannot both be 0. One of them can be 0, but not both of them. Then the next thing that I want to just remind you of is any ordered pair that makes the linear equation true is a solution of that linear equation in two variables. And we looked at that in module 3 quite a bit. So we did input, output, we made a table, and that's just what we're going to do again to graph. We're just going to make a table. So our first example is given to us. I can see that this is in standard form already. I have my A and my B, so I know AX plus BY is equal to C. And I can see that A here is 5, because that's the number in front of X, the coefficient. And B, the coefficient, is 1, the number in front of Y. And then that constant C is just 10. So I can just identify those. Now, it's always best to isolate y, so then you can just solve for that variable and substitute it in. So, and that's what they did here. So they just subtracted the 5x and moved it to the other side. And you know 5x and 10 are not like terms, so therefore I end up with y is equal to 10 minus 5x is what I have. So to graph the function, again, we first solve for y, so that's what we should do. And now I'm going to make a table. And you can see this table here is horizontal. I have made several tables to where they are vertical. In whichever way you want to think about making a table is fine. You just need to take and plot 3 or 4 points to make that table. And so our y is equal to, so they had 10 minus 5x, and that's what y is equal to. So they just took, if x is a -1, they just took and they substituted it in, minus 5, and then a -1. So they substituted in that -1. So this is 10, -5 times a -1 is a +5. So this simplifies down to just 5. So my y value is 5. So my ordered pair is a -1, 5. And then you can kind of see over here, they went and they graphed when -1 is 5. Oh my, dropped to 10. So it's 15. So -1, 15. So -1 and 15. So that is my ordered pair. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my 0. So I'm just going to substitute in 0. So 10 minus 5 times 0. Again, this is -5 times 0 is 0. So then my y value here is 10. So my next one is 0, 10. So then I'm going to come over and plot that point. So 0, x is here, and then 10 is right there. So I just plot that point. And then I just keep going. So I would substitute 1 in for x. So again, 10 minus 5 times 1. So this is 10 minus 5, and that is 5. So this next order pair is 1, 5. So I would go over here to 1, and then I would plot 5. So you can kind of see this is just an input-output is what this is. So my B, so my next one is B. So once again, I want to identify A, B, and C, because this is already in standard form. So this is standard form. And my A here is a -4. my B here is 1, and my C is 11. So the first thing I want to do is isolate y. So to graph the function, first isolate the equation for your y value. So when I do that, I'm going to add the 4x. So I'm going to add the 4x to both sides. So now here I have y is equal to 11 plus 4x. So I just move that 4x to the other side. And now I'm going to make a table. So I know my y value here, y is equal to 11 plus 4x. And so I'm just going to create an input-output is what I'm going to do to find those ordered pairs. So my x and my y. So I'm going to substitute in a -4 to begin with. So -4. So 11 plus 4 times a -4. And so this here is a -16. And so I'm just going to add 11 to it. So therefore this is a -5. So my ordered pair here is -4, -5. So then I'm going to come over and I'm going to go ahead and plot that point is what I'm going to do. So -4, and so if you look at this, this is not just a standard graph here. It's kind of, it has different units of measure. So you can see that the x value is changing by 1, but then my y graph here is changing by 10. So there's 10, 20, there's 30. So this is a -10, 20. So -4, -5. So -4 and a -5. So here's a -10 right here. So therefore, that point's going to be right there. Okay, so now I'm just going to do my next one. All right, so I'm going to look at -2 now, and I'm going to substitute that in. So 11 plus 4 times a -2, and then I'm just going to solve for it. So this is 11 minus 8 is what I have, so that is 3. So I know my y value here is 3, so my ordered pair is -2, 3. So that's what my ordered pair is. So let's just fill these in. So this one was -5, and then this one here is 3. So now I'm just going to come over -2, 3. So -2 and 3. So this is just going to be slightly above it. And you know this is a linear equation, so this should start forming a line. And you can kind of see my line is starting to form. So you need more than 2 points to make sure that you have this correct. So my next one is 0, so 11 plus 4 times 0. So I know that 4 times 0 is 0. So therefore my output here is 11. So 0, 11 is my next point. So I'm going to come back up to my graph. And I'm going to look at 0, 11. So it's right here. So you can kind of see that this here is my line forming. So this is my line. So and all the points should fall on this. All the points should fall on this line. And this, since this graph is kind of funky, it kind of doesn't look right. Like that one point doesn't look like it's falling correctly on the line. It's just because the graph is in units of 5. So then if you went ahead and did the rest of the math, this one would be 19 and this one here would be 27. And so you would just plot the